Shalom Aleichem and Good Moed. I am preparing this message for you on the third day of Chol Hamoed Sukkos, which is hard to believe, because that means it's been almost 2 months since we started very, very active and regular planning and preparation for that which we hope would be and was a meaningful and enriching and inspiring Elul and Tishrei experience, albeit under some very difficult and unprecedented, challenging circumstances. And I say with a fair degree of pride and satisfaction that I really, really do believe that Bli Ayin Hara, we have been able to, with tremendous creativity and with effort on the part of many volunteers and your cooperation, to create moments that were truly inspiring, that were memorable, not only because of what was missing, but what we were able to create in the absence of all that was not there. And I hope that we will be able to do so as we prepare now for the climax of the Tishrei season for Simchat Torah, a moment in which we celebrate our connection to Torah. And I think it's important to begin by actually mentioning and highlighting just that point. Simchat Torah always was and always should be about a personal and communal celebration of Torah. That we are blessed to have the greatest gift in the world, the Torah that we study, with which and through which we grow and we become better people. There is no reason whatsoever why that celebration, in the most meaningful personal way, has to be curtailed this year. Of course, there will be differences. And actually, in this message, I would like to focus on what we will be doing rather than focus so much on what we will not be doing. Beginning tomorrow night on Leil Hoshana Rabbah, I invite the entire community to join CB Nugershel and myself, who will be presenting back-to-back shiurim beginning at 8 o'clock p.m. This is not only a way to launch the Shmini Atzeres Yom Tif, but also a way to launch our second annual community-wide siyum. Hopefully everybody remembers last year on Simchat Torah we started a community-wide siyum Tanakh, or study of the entire Tanakh, which we made a siyum on Shavuos. We will hopefully do that again this year, although this year we will not be studying Tanakh as a community, but we will be studying Bli Neder, the entire Mishnah Brura. I invite everybody in the entire community to participate not only tomorrow night as part of the launch, but hopefully commit yourselves and members of your family to select just small sections of the Mishnah Brura, and hopefully as a community we will be able to make a siyum in person. I hope that we'll be able to make a siyum in person this coming year on Shavuos. Now, throughout the Yom Tif of Shmini Atzeres and Simchat Torah, we'll be having some very special programming. The first one I'd like to highlight is the fact that, as you know, for a period of, I guess, about 3 months, we were unable to get together and daven b'tzibur. And as a result, there were 16 parshios that we were unable to hear in shul this past spring and the early part of the summer. Parshas Kisisa all the way through Bahaloscha, unfortunately, we were unable to read. Well, better late than ever. For those who are interested, and this is not an obligation, but for those who are interested, we will be offering in 3 shifts, 2 on Shmini Atzeres and 1 on Simchat Torah, the opportunity to hear all of those 16 missed parshios. Now, of course, this will take time, so please do not expect to come for 10 minutes and it'll be over. It will take hours. But for those who are interested, it is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to show our commitment, our desire to be able to be mashlim the entire Torah be'ezras Hashem as a tzibur. More details to follow in the announcements. On Shmini Atzeres, there will be 2 programs. First for families with younger children, and then for adults and young adults, in which there will be guided learning sheets, an opportunity to study together, either b'chavrusa with members of your family or larger groups, members of your family, of course, to study together materials that will be provided for you, given to you, and you will have the opportunity to begin Simchat Torah in really the most meaningful way that we can. Some of you, hopefully all of you, remember that we did this last year successfully in shul. Unfortunately, once again, this will be done in a different venue this year, but we thank once again the Metzgers, who always have been very, very generous in offering their yard for this purpose. Once again, please stay tuned for more details, times, sign-up information in the announcements. On Simchat Torah itself, there will be a special Kol HaNa'arim program. Again, the details will be announced. This will obviously not involve a lot of children under the talus at one time, but in a way that's appropriate. There will be a very meaningful celebration for our children in which they will be able to experience and celebrate this aspect of the Yom Tif together with members of their family and their peers. And then there will be a special Illashag program in which I invite all members of the community who are interested to join in a kumzitz style Illashag, in which we will be able to celebrate in the most meaningful way. It will not involve dancing. It will not involve a lot of loud, fast music or singing the way we are normally accustomed to, but in a way that I hope is very meaningful, very inspiring, motivating, and enriching, will allow each and every one of us to celebrate with the Torah in a way that is meaningful, in a way that really leaves us feeling a genuine sense of satisfaction, while at the same time being smart and being safe and being careful and being mindful of the fact that we are still, unfortunately, living through a very, very difficult and very delicate situation. Unfortunately, I saved sort of the worst news for the end. Well, I'll start by saying, many of the traditions that we have on Simchat Torah, I would say almost all of them are minhagim. And I say that not to say it's only a minhag. Chazal tell us, minhag Yisrael Torah, we should take our minhagim very seriously, we should cherish them, but we have to understand and appreciate, especially at such a difficult time, that they are minhagim, and so therefore we want to be mindful of that, and rather than focus on what we won't be doing, focus on what we will be doing. The davening throughout the Yom Tov should be exactly the same as we are accustomed to, both in terms of Shmini Atzeres and Simchas Torah. The hakafos, unfortunately, will not be the hakafos that we remember, and the hakafos that we hope to experience in the future. They will be short. They will not involve people making their way around the bimas the way they usually do. They will be short and to the point, but again, I hope that they will be meaningful. Meaningful because we will put our heart into them, and because we will be doing the best that we can be doing. And with that sincere gesture of Avodas Hashem, I'm hoping not only will HaKadosh Baruch Hu accept our kafos and receive them ba'ava u'beratzon, but I hope that we will feel genuinely that we are offering, under these difficult circumstances, something that is pure and something that is sort of the best that we can do. Another very well-known custom that is recorded in the Ramah is that everybody tries to get an aliyah on Simchas Torah. This is only a custom. I want to encourage those who will be getting an aliyah on Shmini Atzeres, which this year is Shabbos, so there'll be Shabbos Mincha as well, to consider that your aliyah. If you still want to get an aliyah on Simchas Torah, you will be accommodated. But I encourage you to consider the possibility that your aliyah on Shmini Atzeres is good enough. And I personally will tell you, I this year will not be getting an aliyah on Simchas Torah. I am going to be satisfied. I hope the Gabbai will give me one on Shmini Atzeres. If not, I won't be insulted. But I'm going to take my aliyah on Shmini Atzeres, and that is going to be it for me. Some of you will still want to have an aliyah on Simchas Torah. We make every effort to accommodate everyone, but most important, realize that this is a Yom Tif in which we have the opportunity to, first of all, experience things that we've never done before. Certainly reading 16 parashios together is something which is unusual, but even some of the other very creative and appropriate programming that we have created and offered for this coming year will not feel like a b'diavad. It will feel like a lechatchila. This will feel like this is the way that it could be, and I am willing to bet that Be'ezras Hashem, next year, where I hope we'll be celebrating Simchas Torah as part of Shmini Atzeres in Yerushalayim, I really, really do hope that some of these customs, if you will, that we will create this year, some of these experiences will stick, because they will leave us with memories of something that was truly memorable, something that was truly meaningful, and something that we will want to continue, even when, Be'ezras Hashem, B'sha Tova U'Mitzlachas, very, very soon, we will be Zochet to have so much more freedom than we have at the moment. But until that time, we are going to make the best of this situation. We are going to celebrate and rejoice with the Torah in our hearts, more than with the Torah in our hands. But again, that is really what Simchas Torah always was and really should be, a meaningful, sincere, genuine expression of our personal love and connection to Torah. I hope and pray that we should be zocheh as a community, that this Simchas Torah should be the most memorable experience that we've had in recent and maybe our entire Simchas Torah memory. Of course we'll remember it because of all that wasn't and how different and how unusual it was. But I hope that we'll be able to remember it because it will be special, because it will leave us feeling a sense of genuine satisfaction, a sense of real connection, and hopefully, most importantly, motivate us to continue to celebrate that relationship with the Torah in the days, the weeks, and the months ahead. Thank you. A good Moed. Looking forward to celebrating Yom Tif with you.